Pisces.
Hello everyone, it is a new month and it's good to see you here as always. And before we start today, I would just like to thank you all for sharing. Our site is growing and I totally appreciate that, and all your comments, your feedback, your emails. Even though I may not have time to go in and respond to all of them, I do read them, so thank you for that. Now, also before we proceed, I have created a little tune which is for healing, and that in mind I have those that went down on the Malaysian jet, those who crossed over the Rainbow Bridge, and for their family members who have lost their loved ones, also the ferry boat that capsized with all those children in it. And most of us, we are mothers, you know, and as females, even for those of you who have no children, we are natural born healers. It's within our natures. And don't get me wrong, I also have a good percentage of you men too, so you're absolutely welcome to participate. But I would like to ask you to take a moment to listen to this, and while you close your eyes and allow your hearts to open and send forth that healing energy, both to those who have departed, but also to those family members who are left back, and the hurt that they're feeling. So I thought I'd do this month. You'll find a button so you can just click through, listen, and then come back, and we shall see what's up for you here now this month. Hello Pisces, this is your forecast for June 2014, and you have a new moon here in your 5th house for creativity, and this is how it's just really going to blossom for you. And I think that maybe some of you have been feeling this anticipation of these new beginnings that are coming now out of this grand cross that has been between a rock and a hard place in so many ways, but how this has actually been enhancing you to reach for these new beginnings and cast all the old off, and you're really now just starting to drive towards something that's going to be lasting, you know, for a long time, if not forever. But there's these new patterns that I see that you're putting in place, and if it's done right, Pisces, not only is it good for here and now, but like I said, it's setting you up with a Jupiter cycle here for the next 12 years that you can actually benefit from this, okay? And if that 12-year cycle is going to be good, that's just spiraling you off into the next 12 years after that too. That's why I'm saying forever. So this new moon here in this area, we get it once a year, the chance to put down our intentions, to really focus intently. You will have the chance next year also, but then Jupiter is not going to be there. So these two components of the new moon, you focusing, making your wishes, creating your affirmations of how you want to see your creativity flourish, this is what this month is all about for you as the pivotal point and the most important. And I say that because you Pisces are always so creative. And I know that you're on a mission with your Neptune there in the 1st house, right? So you're really wanting to come across now, projecting this, you know, through your rising sign, this Neptune, of creative imagination, healing, spirituality, all of your talents and your skills. It's like you've had them throughout your life, but you use so much time on others, you know, because you're so compassionate. You're here as a people person, and maybe for years you were such a people pleaser that your own wishes and needs kind of like was up there in that corner, and you could only function when you had time for yourself to create. But now you're coming out, see, and it is time for you. And the beauty of it is you're not really feeling guilty either, taking that time Whereas in the past, I believe you did carry a lot of guilt, that you were afraid to put yourself out there because other people needed you and your attention and your help more. But this Neptune in the first house is starting to fully function here for you. I'm seeing how you're reaching out to a grander scale in this, and right now, of course, this month we have Neptune turning retrograde, and which will be June 10th throughout that of November 16th. So you're going to have a big portion of time while Neptune is working in your subconsciousness. And what is the message here with Neptune? There's several levels. First of all, it's the higher octave of Venus, so it's higher love. So you're going to feel how your heart chakra is going to be more open, more giving, more wanting to radiate that out. But it's also bringing in, which you're going to see as small surprises here and there as it goes off, ideas that you had. You're so imaginative. And yes, when life is busy, we just, full force ahead, right? And then we get caught up in the day-to-day grind of things, of survival and work and deadlines and whatnot, that these beautiful gems that you had as beautiful visions of creative energy throughout the years past, but never had time to work with, well, you might just see how they're going to start popping back up to surface, from those files way down here as the retrograde opens it up and the past comes into the now. You might start harvesting now these gems and go, whoa, I could do that. I can implement this, I can implement that. And maybe now time will allow you to look at these things. So by the time come November, you have created a canvas of life that you can be very proud of. That's what I love about this retrograde. Now, Neptune also is like the repeater system. This is why the lower vibrations of Neptune ties in with addictions. I've spoken a little bit about this to some of the other signs here as well. But lower Neptune, or say the Neptunian personality that's not living up to the high spirit, well, they can get caught in these streams because Neptune is like a repeater system, like the voice out in the canyons, and then it echoes, echoes, echoes. So you might hear, the addict saying, gotta do this, whether it's through alcohol or other substances or gambling or whatever the deal is. So you want to pay attention to what echoes are you hearing, and know that you're fully in control to say, no, I'm not doing that, right? Not doing that. So that's the only thing to be aware of, because you might get drawn in to something there if you're not aware. Or that you can also be attracting people with addictions too in this phase. Now Uranus in the second house, that's your money. Uranus is direct, so this is good. You're seeing that there's a change taking place here in your income stream. It might be a little up and down. Uranus is never even. However, though, it can bring in great windfalls too, and it can come out of the blue, which Uranus can do, like a lightning bolt out of the clear. So we want to see what that is going to set you up for here this month. Venus is touring through the sign of Taurus, and it rules Taurus, so it's happy here, it's elevated, it's stronger, it's the goddess energy actually, because it's the just the embodiment of love. And I see it being in your third house is that a lot of this energy that you're going to be radiating, it's out to your community, your neighbors and your friends and your siblings and so forth. And maybe also you'll be traveling somewhat more this month, but it would be short distance travel, which this area rules. But in that case, you're going to have a lot of fun because Venus knows how to enjoy itself. Good food and good wines as well. Then we have the Sun in your fourth house, which is home and family, where you live, how you live. So that might be a little bit more pinpointed here in June. Making plans perhaps, shoring things up, maybe using more time to beautify or paint a new wall or purchase a new thing. The only thing about purchases, I have to say this month, is we have Mercury retrograde. So no big purchases, it might be faulty and then you'll have to go and go back with it, you know, and have it exchanged, and that takes time, and it's such an annoyance. So Mercury will be retrograde to July 1st. Any time after that is good, but until then, hold your horses. But you may go out and research, go window shopping, you know, and try to find that perfect thing, and then purchase it next month. Mercury retrograde, well, it is in your 5th house, moving direct until the 7th. So, you will be expressing a lot of your creativity till then. Any contracts you need to sign, make sure you do it before the 7th. But Mercury in the 5th house is creativity, self-expression, you communicating here, probably some ideas and sharing concepts also here. If you're collaborating with somebody, it's a great time for you guys to do that. Then on the 17th, it is going to move out of the 5th house back into the 4th house, where it currently was in May. So there might be things to be wrapped up there for you. Any loose ends, good time to do so. But yes, you got that Jupiter new moon also there in the 5th house. As we said, you're expanding this whole platform, and so continue to do so. You got next month too, and then that's it. You won't have this opportunity for the next 12 years. So let's jump ahead to Mars. Now moving direct, okay, from May 20th, say 19th to 20th, it started to move forward slowly. It takes time for a planet after retrograding to turn around and then speed up, okay? So a little bit slowly, but at least it's in the right direction. So you will see the area it's affecting you has to do with royalties, commissions, monies owed to you may come to you from contracts and investment payoffs, or it could also be if you've been waiting for a suit, insurance suit to pay off, well, then that could come, for example, here too this month. And any money that you have with your significant other, that may come to the forefront and be discussed. But basically I'm seeing how you've used this Mars in a good way, because normally it takes 6 weeks and it just runs right off with us, and we don't always get time to really ground ourselves and create good roots in an area. But since it's been here now nearly 8 months before it's done with Libra, these months here, especially from December to now, if you think back, you've been thinking constantly on how can I perfect, how can I bring in more, how can I tweak this, how can I create more creative aspects, but also find a return on investment. So for you, Pisces, I think this transit has been really good. It's been a workout because mentally you might feel a little exhausted, going back and forth and a little bit all over the map, vacillating. And the vacillation comes from Libra, which are the scales. You know, you've gone here to there until now, May 20th, 21st, where you're finding the midpoint, where I think you're figuring out that it doesn't have to be either or. See, sometimes we always think we gotta pick and choose either or. The thing is, for you, you're wide as the ocean, you know. So for you, I see this is what you've done. I'm taking both. I'll take this and I'll take that and embrace them, and then that itself becomes the midpoint. And as you embrace this, let me tell you, your arms are so full of things to do that you might find that time can be slipping from you, and that might be the Neptunian thing, because Neptune and Uranus both, they have this higher attunement from the linear time, so you might just feel how days work on you, that you know, it's Monday and suddenly it's the weekend, and then it's Monday again. It's like the other days don't exist. It's like it's all just one. But this is because you're in this incredible creative flow right now, and I love, love, love to see that for you. And I think people will love to see what's coming from the creativity that you are creating. Then we have Saturn will be going direct next month. So right now it's working on the last leg of the 5-month retrograde phase in your 9th house. If you've been using the Saturn correctly, you will have found that going back to earlier talents, skills, ideas, hopes, dreams, aspirations, researches that you've done, the knowledge that you have acquired over the years. Suddenly now is all coming back. Things that you thought you'd never use again, a skill that you, a talent that you learned 15 years ago, didn't use it again. It's like, okay, now that's in the past. But you're seeing how all of these things now are coming back in, and you could use it in your creative projects. So that is such a gain right there. That's how we love Saturn, when he helps us to focus. You know, and when you ask yourself, and this is how you aspire and grow towards new goals in life, is when you keep your thought stream open to the universe and ask, how do I get there to that mountaintop? You know, my goal. How do I get there? As you ask how, and you listen within, you know, that answer may not come right away. It might be a day or two, it might be next week. But if you constantly keep asking how or why, that is what this ninth house is. It opens, it funnels open the higher chakras here. You will get the insight. You will hear the answer coming down as a clear inspiration, especially because you are so psychically attuned, Pisces, and you will have these instantaneous, intuitive answers and guidance. So, yeah, whatever it is you're cooking up, I want to see it. Okay, so put comments down there. I'm really interested to see what you're doing, because, see, your group has so much to give and offer everybody else with this Neptune rising, okay? You're the ones who's creating the new films, the new TV series, the plots, putting in, and hopefully, you know, we can get away with all of this negative violence that we're seeing on video games and TVs, which is doing nobody no good, you know. We see weaker spirits falling into the illusion of this is how it's supposed to be, and then they have a new supermarket shooting spree because they're sitting on their gains. Now, if Neptune can come in and heighten the quality of what it is, like replace it with something that's spiritual and giving, something that can unite humanity, this is what it's all about as far as being on a mission. So we have the full moon, and it is in Sagittarius in your career house. Pay attention to what is coming for you, Pisces, on the 13th of June. This is a harvest moon for you, you know, and every full moon is a harvest moon of those intentions that you placed, you know, months ago, okay? So they'll be dripping in every month, you know. So when you had a great new moon intention here in this area earlier, here comes the full moon of it, and you will see if your intention was really, really good back then, you should experience that something in your career right now, mid-month, is going to be beautiful. So let's take a look at what is going on here. From top of the month, we have Venus and Neptune. Neptune, your ruler, is here in a beautiful, harmonious aspect to Venus, which is love. So we have the physical love, the earthy love, and then we've got the spiritual, cosmic love, doing the dance. Great night to have a union or a date and a romantic evening. For those of you single, you know, go out and about and see, you know, you might just magnetize somebody into your life. For you, this Venus and Neptune will be between your third and first house. So it's in the neighborhood, but it could also be on a short distance travel that you might just have some very harmonious energies taking place. Then we have the 6th, it's the Sun and Uranus, some unexpected news coming to you, and this could be between home and your income, or money made at home as income that can show up on the 6th that will be surprising to you. And then we have Mercury on the 7th, moving, turning retrograde. And on the 8th, another beautiful, passionate day. This is this is Venus and Pluto doing the dance, and they're trine. So we see intensity and passion and creativity and really relating here. If you're in a relationship, this is the day of the month to really, you know, put off on the calendar for the two of you as you can deepen into the core of the other and vice versa. And when we relate, it's not just the intimacy and sexuality and sensuality, but it's actually what we're saying, what we're receiving as well, that's setting you up now for a good round coming from this. There's healing in that Plutonian type of love. Then we have Neptune going retrograde on the 9th until November 16th. And the 12th and 14th are the days here this month that we want to pay a little extra attention to. This is Venus and Saturn, so that's your 3rd to 9th house. And Venus here is looking at either a short distance trip, but Venus is also money and the values that you hold. Being in Taurus here, it might be something that's important to you that now from afar, Saturn being in that 9th house, there might be a situation from out of state or out of country, news that you can hear, or somebody that you might want to reach out to and help or be supportive of here in this area. On the 14th, we have Mars and Pluto squaring one another, so there might be a situation that could be a little sensitive. And when Mars gets triggered by Pluto, it might become a little reactive there. So it's important to know what comes out of the mouth, because we can't take back words, so we just want to be a little careful that doesn't take place. This is your 8th house and your 11th house. So it has to do with money and resources that you hold. It could also have something to do with groups as well. But it's a fast passing transit. Mars is now direct, so it's not hanging there. So this is good. And I don't think necessarily it needs to be a new situation, because Mars was over this degree here earlier when it was in that cross. So right now what it's doing, it's just finishing up, okay, and concluding, and then letting go. And once it's passed, we're out of it. We're good. That's like the last of it for a long time. Then we have Mercury retrograde now moving back out of Cancer and into the sign of Gemini. This will be from your 5th house back into your 4th house. So whatever unfinished business here from the 17th to the 1st that you haven't done or fixed with your home, where you live, how you live, real estate, or family situation, this is a time to kind of clear that up. And it may also just signify that you may have some visitors coming in that you haven't seen for a long time. That could be family members, okay? So that's a good time to catch up and just, have that good family reunion. So on the 18th, Venus and Jupiter really doing good. This is your 3rd house and your 5th house. So it's creative, it's self-expression coming out. If you're working on a creative deal or a project, fantastic. These two are the best planets that we have, and when they interact, it's generous, it's abundant. So you might here now see how communication for you will come out in some glorious ways, and not only that, but it will also be received in glorious ways. So this is the 18th. Pay attention to what news, insights, or situations that's going to be presented to you here on this date. On the 23rd, Venus is going to move into Gemini, so it's moving out of Taurus in your 3rd house, moving into the home area. So where the sun is right now, it's going to be followed up by Venus, also focusing on home and family. So some of you will be visiting your family or having visitors come to you. Some of you might be moving here this month in June, and in that case, there's a lot of love, there's a lot of joy, a lot of anticipation taking place for this. And as we're talking about Venus and love, I posted here a link about Venus with love and relationships, what you can expect here in May. So you can click on it and listen to a deeper forecast just for Venus and love here for you. Come June 1st, I will post what's coming up for Venus in June, so you can come back and listen to it as well. Especially now when Venus is in Taurus, we're going to have all this great energy in June, so you want to listen to that. When we come to the 25th, we have Mars and Uranus. They're at odds, But oppositions aren't always necessarily negative, but it can be unexpected because it's Uranus. And Uranus always seems to come at us from out of the blue unexpectedly. And then Mars needs to react or kick into some kind of action. And so, you know, Mars doesn't think. It doesn't stop to think of consequences. And now when Mercury is retrograde, you know, our thoughts, our mind isn't really up to speed either. So you want to make sure that you don't act too quickly if this is in fact something that can have a consequence. For you, it's going to be financial. So you want to make sure that perhaps you at least do not go out and purchase. Second house, it can be spending, right? Don't spend anything before after July 1st, just so you don't end up regretting it. So this is pretty much what we have. You have that full moon here on the 13th. That's your career house. For those of you Pisces that are looking for which avenue to express your career, I also posted a link on the top 10 careers for each of you sun signs, so you might want to go and check that out. But the 13th should bring something in the career area for you, which I feel is going to be quite exciting. So yeah, good luck with that. So hey, listen, I will see you again in July. So go listen to your moon and your rising sign just to get a little deeper insight at what is going on in those areas for you. And if you're listening to this on the early side here in May, you might want to come back in June just to kind of refresh these dates and what you can expect there in June. And I'll see you next month. Okay, bye now.